Yo, what up guys, I'm Sammy and welcome back to the Soul Brothers channel. In this video, we're going to be talking about some of my favorite cushioning setups that you can get right now in basketball shoes. So I try to categorize this as best as I could. So if you like cushioning in the forefoot, or if you like cushioning in the heel, or you like something that's full length, or if you want something soft, you want something with good impact protection, and do you want something that's bouncy, right? So it's kind of hard to categorize all of these shoes. I'm sorry about that because, you know, a lot of shoes are very different and a lot of the cushioning compounds are very different. But if you guys want to get any of these shoes, I'll try to leave a link in the description box. But let's get it started off with, I guess, like forefoot cushioning. And if you want a nice little bounce in the forefoot, I would suggest going with the Kyrie 6. The Kyrie 6 has a very nice cushioning setup in the forefoot. It uses a Zoom turbo unit. You need to break it in just a little bit, but once you do, it gets nice and bouncy. And then the Kyrie 6, I would say, is on the mellower side of things, right? Next, we got the Lebron Soldier 14, and I believe they're using like a thicker zoom unit or something because it definitely feels a lot bouncier. Don't really have to break it in at all either. And also when you're kind of like walking, and you definitely feel that the zoom unit is a little bit thicker than the Kyrie 6. And just by the way, the Kyrie 6 and the Lebron Soldier 14 have absolutely nothing in the heel. So if you want something in the heel, don't get those shoes. All right, next we got the Jordan 34 and the Jordan 35. They basically use the same exact forefoot zoom unit, and those zoom units feel pretty similar to the Lebron Soldier 14. I would say it's just as bouncy and it compresses just as much, so probably it's around the same thickness. But I feel like the area of zoom is a little bit bigger in the Jordan 34 and the Jordan 35. Next, we got the Jordan Why Not 0.3 for the forefoot cushioning setup, which is awesome. It's a large volume zoom unit. I would say it's around the same size as the Lebron Soldier 14, maybe a little bit smaller. And I would say there's not as much bounce as the Lebron Soldier 14, but it's still bouncy and nice. And that's about it for forefoot cushions. The next category is bouncy. So if you like a cushioning setup that's bouncy, then these are the shoes to get. So obviously get the KD13 with the full length zoom strobo unit. It feels awesome. That zoom unit just gives you that extra like pip in your step, you know what I'm saying? And also the Zoom Universe is a great option. It's on sale for 110 bucks right now. Not the best looking shoe in my opinion, but if you want a nice cushioning setup, it's awesome. And the foam is pretty damn soft as well. The KD13, it's basically like rubber and then like a Phylon foam, so you don't really get anything from the foam. But the Zoom Universe, after the zoom unit kind of compresses, your foot digs into that foam as well, and that feels great. All right, the next category is a cushioning setup that's soft. Some of these cushioning setups have a little bit of bounce to them as well, which we'll get into. But for the most part, they're more on the softer side of things and have a good amount of compression. So to start it off, we got the Wow 8 and the Ushuai 13 Premium. It's using boom cushioning and it's full length. And you feel that cushioning right underneath your foot. It's super comfortable. Step-in comfort is great. Has a lot of impact protection, a lot of compression. And when you're just walking around in it, it's more soft. But then when you start, actually playing, and when you start sprinting or jogging around, you definitely feel a little bit more bounce. That boom cushioning setup is incredible. I love it. I just wish it wasn't as caged, but I feel like if it wasn't caged, it might be a little bit too soft. So it's probably something that they had to do, but overall, it's awesome. Next, we got the Renu Elevate. It's using like a full length Renu cushion, and then the heel they're using a dual blend cushioning setup. So they're using something different on the bottom of the heel, but I don't know what it is. It's awesome. There's a nice little compression, a nice bounce in the heel as well. Impact protection is great. Also, you're low to the ground. The forefoot is a little bit more dead. There's still a little bit of compression. It's still kind of soft, but for the most part, it's stiff, especially comparing it to the heel. But that cushioning setup is really fun, and it's only 80 bucks. All right, moving on to the next shoe, we got the Next Level 2020, and this shoe uses a full-length light strike cushioning setup, and it's more just in the heel. The forefoot, there's a little bit of something, but in the heel, it's more just soft. For some reason, it didn't feel that bouncy to me, especially comparing it to like the Dame 6, which we'll get into. But it's soft, there's a lot of impact protection and a good amount of compression in the heel. So that's a great cushioning setup if you like to have something in the heel. All right, moving on to this next shoe, we got the Air Zoom BB NXT, and this shoe has probably the craziest cushioning setup on this entire list. It's using triple stacked React, which it's basically double stacked, and they're counting the insole. That doesn't really count, but anyways, it's a super thick full React midsole. And in the review, I said it was a little too thick, right? It's unstable. you know? But if you're looking for something bouncy with a lot of compression and super soft, then this is the shoe to get. If you don't care about feeling a little unstable, like for example, I didn't roll my ankle or anything. It's just, I always had the thought in the back of my mind that, you know, I had to be careful. And I, like, when I was landing, I had to like be careful where I land and watch out for feet and stuff like that, which usually I don't do when I'm playing in other shoes, but in this shoe I definitely had to worry about it. But obviously, if you don't care about that and you want an incredibly comfortable cushioning setup, then go with the Air Zoom BBN XT. All right, next is the Dame 6, and this shoe is more like in the heel and it's bouncy, right? So in the heel, there's a lot of compression. It's super soft. Some might say it's a little too soft. So if you don't like that, then obviously stay away from the shoe. For me, it was not bad, you know? I really didn't mind it. And to be honest, I don't like super soft cushioning setups because it makes me feel a little bit slower than I should. But for me personally, the Dame 6 wasn't a huge deal. I love that compression. I love how soft it was. Impact protection was awesome. And you get that nice bounce in the heel. The forefoot gets a little bit more stiff. I don't know why, but Adidas likes heel cushion a lot. And then Jordan brand really likes forefoot cushioning. But anyways, the Dame 6 is an awesome cushion setup. And then last but not least is my favorite cushioning setup on this list, and that would be the PG4. I absolutely love the full-length Air Strobel unit. When you're walking around, it's soft, but then once you start playing, kind of like jogging around or sprinting around, it definitely does get bouncier, right? Obviously, it's not as bouncy as Zoom, but you know, it still gets a little bouncy, and I just love that feeling right underneath my foot, you know? And then not only that, but the foam is actually soft as well. It's not super caged or anything. And in the heel, as well as in the forefoot, it allows for a good amount of compression as well. Impact protection is awesome. Court feel is good. You get that nice little bounce once you start playing. And then when you're just walking around, if you want to wear this shoe casually as well, it's super duper comfortable. So yeah, that's my list of the best cushioning setups that you can get right now. Sorry it was a little messy as far as like the organization of the list goes. It was kind of hard to organize it based on like each characteristic. So hopefully you guys can choose, you know, which cushioning setup that you prefer. But that about wraps up this video. Again, if you guys want to cop any of these shoes, I'll try to leave a link in the description box. But that's it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.